it's going to last. So I'll say it again, fill up gas in your car and, prepare for the worst, right? I'm going to wait probably like 2 more minutes here, maybe 1 more minute, let some more people come in, and then we'll get going. But yeah, so for anyone that's new, I'm just going to go over a couple topics that I think are worth talking about, and then look at some charts or whatever, answer questions on tickers, on trading, on my software, on anything you guys want. You just got to ask away. So about 30 more seconds here, and then we'll get going. Yeah, crazy stuff going on though. Crazy stuff. Hope you all had a good day. Tuesday. Man, tomorrow I'm not even live trading, am I? Shoot. I'll be around, though. I don't need to go to class tomorrow morning. Honestly, I'm going to skip it regardless. I don't think attendance is mandatory tomorrow. But, yeah, tomorrow will be pretty crazy. So, all right, well, let's jump into it. Yeah, I mean, they could. I'm surprised they haven't jumped in right now, Rollin. Yeah, I'm really surprised that we got to the point that we're at where they actually went on strike. But I mean, billions and billions of dollars are left at sea right now. So whether that's oil, clothes, food, retail, all the above, right? Importing is a huge, huge thing. Yeah, we have the VP debate tonight. That's going to be interesting. That probably just started, huh? That's maybe why it's a little light in here. Who knows what that's going to be like. Opening remarks now. Yeah, I need to go back and watch that. Well, maybe we can cut this short tonight and everyone can go watch that. It's important. But all right, let's get into it. So the biggest thing I'm looking at tomorrow, and this is important, okay? We have Tesla delivery numbers coming out. I'm a little embarrassed that I forgot about this, but the second day of every new quarter, Tesla releases delivery numbers. So I spent about an hour going through news articles and stuff on kind of expectations, just, all over the place, any sort of expectation. Okay. So the number to keep in mind, again, I'm not live trading tomorrow, which I hate. Like the one day I want to be on mic out of all days this week. So the number that banks and whatever is estimating is 461 to 463,000 vehicles delivered. China has been a very big problem for Tesla. They had a lot of there's some low delivery counts, and that's actually starting to get a lot better in the recent months. I think if we go back to, where was it over here? If we go into July 2nd, this was the last delivery number. Tesla opened at $202 and hit a high of $230. So over a 10% move there. Okay. And the numbers weren't totally crazy, but they were good. Especially with how many problems they had been having, right? So we went from 202, we hit a high of 271 just a couple days after that. I mean, what is that, 20-30% move? I mean, that's pretty significant. Okay, so I'm going to talk to the firm in the morning and kind of see what's going on. But if we see like 465 to if we see 465,000, Tesla's going to have a pretty decent day. If we see 470,000 or close to that, like 469.5, 468, 469, Tesla could, go 275. Okay, 285. It could have a crazy day. If we see 470 plus, maybe we see, 280 plus. I don't know, right? I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself here. But the number you guys are going to be looking for is above 463,000. Ideally, we see 465,000 plus vehicles delivered. We also have the robo-taxi event on the 10th. So this could kind of be a beginning catalyst for this to run up into next week. What is that? Next Thursday, I think. Next Thursday is the 10th. So that's going to be a big deal. If there's any talks about AI and maybe any hints on robo-taxi, it's also going to be a positive. So I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm not super thrilled to play the downside if things do turn bad. And, typically with any sort of earnings play or any sort of catalyst, if the expectations are already high, they have to exceed those. If they don't exceed those by a decent margin, then it's kind of a sell the news situation, right? We expect it to be good. It was good, right? Kind of on par to what we thought. The stock's probably going to sell off then. So you never really want to doubt Elon. I think there's a big possibility that things could be good. Of course, I don't know, right? But I want to put that out there. So obviously it could come down. However, the last time this happened, last quarter, it was a money trade. I made some pretty good money on that. And it's pretty simple, guys. If this is gapping up, because so again, this number comes out, the delivery numbers comes out 30 minutes before the open. Okay, so 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is pretty cool, right? Because everyone's going to be at the desk. If you're an equities trader, you could actually trade that move. I think it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a pretty good day. I would like to see this. If we can get this move, ideally, maybe we pre-market, we're sitting at 258, and then we get the news, and this kind of pushes up to around 265. If that happens, it's pretty much going to be buy any sort of dip you can see off the open, and let this thing run. I would like to try to do that and at least see 270, 275. I mean, this could really run. I mean, we could see 300 by October 10th. If it's, if we get like 470,000 vehicles, that would be awesome. So, this is one of those scenarios where it's not so much an A+ technical trade, right? There's, to me, like the chart wise, for the short term, I'm going to get into the chart as well, because this is going to add into my trade idea here, my thesis. Chart wise, in the short term, kind of what I'm looking at right now, I don't see anything A+ here. We got a flat top around 265. Something I noticed today was obviously the market was very weak today. And not only did Tesla kind of bounce right off 250, and it's, it honestly closed decently well. I mean, we're only down 1.38% on Tesla today. There's things down 3, 4, 5%. Obviously with all the negative news today. So kind of bad timing for this, any sort of upside plays. However, in the short term, we could get 2 really nice days out of Tesla. So, and again, the strike happened last night. Okay, so it happened at midnight last night. That's not going to affect the entire last quarter. That could be mentioned, and that they could say, well, if this will get resolved, it's going to hurt delivery numbers, which it could. But I do think a lot of cars are manufactured here. It just, there's so many other things at play there. I don't even really want to get into that. So again, 265, you have a flat top there. But the chart that I want you guys to be looking at here is going to be these bigger time frames. Honestly, this yearly chart doesn't look terrible, but let me back it out a little bit further so you see what I'm talking about, right? We have this massive downtrend that we broke, came back under, got back above, and we're sitting here kind of right around where we hit a high about 270 here in July. After those numbers, we hit 271, I think it was, like I just said. And then, got the big pullback with the market crash little thing there, back up. But the cleanest chart to me is going to be if you put it on the monthly. This is the first time, and obviously this candle here is from today, right? Because it's the first day of the month. But this last candle was the first candle since November of 2021 that's closed out of this big downtrend here you guys are seeing. So that's pretty significant as well. Yeah, I don't know what rate decision you're talking about, Roland. Anyways, so that was a technical positive catalyst there that also kind of plays into this. So If there's any questions on any of that stuff, feel free to ask. But the number to look for, so the estimates are about 461 to 463,000 vehicles. If we see 465 plus, it's going to be positive. If we see 470, close to 470 or 470 plus, guys, we could see a massive run on Tesla. We could easily see 300. I don't know if that's going to happen in a day, 2 days, a week, whatever. But like I said, this could kickstart the move into robo-taxi. And if, again, AI is going to be a big thing. There's just a lot of things that go into these two events here. So delivery numbers are always important. But robo-taxi to me is going to be bigger than delivery numbers. This could, I think all-time highs is just kind of inevitable, Porter, for sure. But again, this is when Tesla could really start going on a run here. Look what it did back in here, right? This is a small one that went from, we had a high of 300. We hit 415 here. Broke this downtrend, went on a crazy run. So think about this move compared to how big this downtrend is and how big that move can be. All right, Tesla's been over $1,000 a share many times, split twice from my experience trading. I don't know if it's done it any time before that. But enough with Tesla, unless you guys have questions on that. But to me, A+ scenario tomorrow for some upside trades. You can, I don't want to say you can just completely disregard what's going on economically, again, with shipping and Iran and Israel. But in the short term, Tesla won't care about it. It could have 1 or 2 really solid days where you can make a ton of money, and then maybe things settle out. And maybe we push for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, whatever. We close the week strong. Maybe this sells off a little bit coming into the robo-taxi event, and then we get another move. Maybe it just rips through both moves. Maybe we have bad news tomorrow and this thing sells back down at 230, and then we start our move back up for robo-taxi. I don't know. But these are scenarios that I want you guys to be paying attention to. So just to clear it up, if we see 465 plus, 465,000 plus deliveries, that's going to be money. 470, even better. The number comes out 30 minutes before the open. So that's going to be pretty important. So 9 o'clock Eastern time in the morning, number comes out. Pay attention. And I hate that I'm not live trading tomorrow. It kills me, but I think you guys know how to trade this. Again, if we have good numbers, Tesla's gapping up. 465 is going to be the first level I'm looking at. Sorry, 265, and then 270 is the high here. And then, 275, 280, 285, 290, and so on. Okay, every $5 level will kind of mean a little bit. So be prepared. Kill it. I'm trying to buy any opening weakness I can if the numbers are good. I don't know that there's an interest rate decision this week, Rollin. Porter, have you seen that? I don't know that I have. I know I'm kind of just repeating myself, but I want to make sure everyone knows. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything tomorrow. That would be pretty clear if it was. You may be looking at an older one. Yeah, you may be looking 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm glad you're speaking up. I don't know that that's actually happening. Delivery numbers. Hang on. I think I missed some stuff here. Where's the best place to watch for the delivery info? I'll type it out in the chat. It's going to be around here, but if you simply just at 9 a.m. tomorrow, just look up Tesla delivery number news. It'll be everywhere. Delivery numbers come out on their press release page. Yeah, I think it can for sure. I'm sure it's going to come on the press release page, but it's going to be all over the news. CNBC, all over Twitter. This is a major event, so it's not going to be hard to find these numbers. And again, I'm going to be talking about in the chat. I'll put it in free. I'll put it in my coach's corner. I'll put it in options chat. But you're also going to be, it's going to be pretty easy to tell if it's good or bad, right? Stock's going to be up or down. Polecat. So that's I think I've covered everything there on Tesla. If there's any more questions on that, ask away. If you want to ask about the strike, if you want to ask about Iran, Israel, yeah, it'll be up in pre-market. So the numbers come out 30 minutes before the market open. Yeah, so it'll be out in the morning tomorrow. Yeah. One other thing I did see, for you guys that use X, Twitter, if you type in $Tesla, $TSLA, and you kind of go through some of the top things and the latest things. I do that a lot, especially when I'm kind of focusing on maybe some swing trades or some bigger trades. You can look for option flow. There are people that track that stuff, and what I saw today was a bunch of people came in and were buying some calls on the dip today. And I think that's a big reason that it actually had a pretty decent recovery. I bought a little piece down there, nothing like worth talking about, but because I'm really more so looking for the day trade. And maybe I enter a swing tomorrow morning because this could be a multi-day thing. However, the day trade will be money. So, if we get a move from 265 to 275, guys, I mean, these contracts are going to go insane. Back in July, when that trade was there, I mean, it was a monster. So it doesn't mean you need to go in super heavy, but definitely don't want to miss this one. How does Iran's attack affect the economy? Well, it doesn't so much affect us here at home economically. It's just more turmoil, across the world. Are we going to get involved? Stuff like that. To me, the shipping strike, the port strike is what you want to focus on more so from an economical standpoint for here, at home in the U.S. But the Iran-Israel stuff, it's not positive, right? So I wouldn't necessarily look at that from an economical standpoint, more so from just a negative sentiment, right? There's just more turmoil across the world. How do you think the banks will handle the rate cut action? There's no rate cut. I think Thundercat may be messing with us. Oh, yeah, Rollin or Thundercat. Yeah, no, that's not happening. That was last week. Any thoughts on continuation of oil stocks this week? I'm in the middle of an awesome oxy swing. I'm up big and remove cost basis, but I don't want to burn the theta. So might call it open and try to catch a bounce and buy another call 3 months out. Yeah, so I don't necessarily think you should be buying multiple months out, especially because the election is next month, which will affect oil. But I think for the short term, if you're in an oil trade, you want to be paying attention to this port strike, because oil is going to continue to rise the longer that this strike goes on, because there's not going to be enough supply. There's going to be, there's a huge supply cut right now because we can't get nearly as much oil as we were until the ports go back into business, because we can't import anything. There's no one working there. So McNulty, that's what I would be focusing on. I do think that oil can go higher in the short term. Obviously, if you're up huge, take some profits, even more than your cost basis. You're never going to catch the entire move with your entire position. Everyone wants to do that. That's just not realistic. So I would just kind of slowly scale out. I do think maybe this can go for another day or two, but I also don't know what's going to happen with the port strike. Maybe it gets resolved tomorrow. Maybe it doesn't. But when it gets resolved, oil will come back down. So don't be too greedy. But I would keep your ear to the ground, pay attention to what's going on with the port strike. And that's kind of how I would gauge that trade, if that makes sense. What is your trade in the stop loss? What do you trade in and stop loss price tomorrow? So I don't know my trade yet, simply because I don't know what Tesla's going to do, common man. So pretty much, again, what I'm looking at is if Tesla has good delivery numbers and it's up, I'm going to be looking to buy any sort of dip I can early. Obviously not going like full position right off the bat, but kind of trying to buy into a dip and then buy it as it starts to really make that aggressive move back up. and then kind of let it go and just kind of scale out. Stop loss is going to be different for everyone. It's going to depend on position size, how much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to make, stuff like that. I think if this is up and I can buy into a dip and then it starts to bounce and start going through high a day, low a day would then be my stop loss. I can't really give you a dollar amount there or a percentage amount because I don't know what they're going to do, because I don't know what Tesla's going to do in the morning. So I know that's kind of a bland answer there for you, but that's just the reality of it. Yeah, let's get it, Porter. Yeah, we have plenty that we're not using. Is Goldman Sachs going to continue to tank? I don't know. I mean, obviously, money is expensive to borrow right now. So if interest rates start coming down, I think banks will probably overall start coming down because they're not going to be making their hand over fist money with interest rates. But I'm not much of a bank trader unless there's some bigger economical events going on other than just a simple interest rate. I think INDO is a good stock. Oil is going up. I don't know what INDO is. I'll look at it. Energy stock. I mean, if oil is going up, energy is going to go up. It looks like the stock has been really strong today. This is going to be Brew Test. This is going to be a question for the stock wizard. I think he traded that today. I'm not a penny stock trader. It's just, to me, it's not too lucrative for the way that I trade. I don't understand it well, so I don't really want to go into that just because I don't want to give you a wrong idea. But I would go for the stock wizard on that one just because I saw him mentioning it today. You got bad info from Pennyboy's watch list for this week. I don't think that you did because it's not on this week's, Rollin. What's the deal with Nike? Unless it was in that graphic, I don't know. What's the deal with Nike? It shot up at earnings and went back down. Yeah, so I mean, typically that's what happens with the earnings, Paulie. Like revenue number will come out, stock will move, and then a couple seconds later, you'll have profit margins. We'll send it in, Rollin. Love to see it. And then they have an earnings call where the CEOs get on mic and they talk. So that's why you get a couple whiplash moves, Paulie. So it looks like they didn't do, I guess, as good as expectations, and they sold back off. So that's kind of all I have on that. I'm not positioned in that. I don't really know anything, super deep into that. But yeah, so earnings, that's kind of why you have those crazy moves. I mean, I've seen maybe it was Netflix go up 50 points and then drop 200 points or something crazy like that. I mean, it's always very, very crazy. Hurricane season, yeah. So NEE, so that's one to look at. Another one that the firm always looks at is Generac, GRNC. Sorry, GNRC. So this is it's like generator kind of stuff. So obviously with no power, energy will go up, and also generators. So this was a big trade for the firm this week. They were buying this from 150, and it's obviously made a pretty solid move here. So anytime there's a hurricane, pay attention to Generac, pay attention to energy. When there's turmoil across the world, easy trades here are going to be like Lockheed Martin, right? Defense stocks. Look what that did today. Man, I wish I traded that. Right, so Lockheed Martin, and then you can look at Raytheon, RTX, another one. Massive moves today. So these are honestly where the real trades were. I just, I don't trade them a whole lot. So, all right, let's check this out, Porter. You're right. You are right, Rollin. That's all last week's stuff. Yeah, no, yeah, Porter, you posted the right ones. That's interesting because the graphics, right? Because if you look at the calendar below that, it's right, but the writing up there is wrong. The top economic announcements is wrong, but if you go down to economic calendar, that's right. Interesting. Good eye. Good eye, Roland. I wasn't doubting you. I just from the graphics I was seeing, they were right. Yeah. Yeah. Unrelated, these VPs are light years ahead in terms of respectively for each other. It's actually pleasing to watch. Oh, really? That's good. I'm probably gonna have to go watch that after this. So, yeah, turmoil, any sort of war, any sort of anything. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, shipping problems, oil, easy trade there. I mean, look at my oil watch list here. I'll send it in Discord. Up big. Right? And then you look at like the tech sector. You can easily see which ones stick out the most. Right? Meta, Google, only green ones today. Netflix didn't have that bad of a day. Amazon didn't have that bad of a day. And then you can kind of see that, Tesla didn't do too bad either. This is why these watch lists are important. YouTube, Twitter, you guys can ask questions too. We don't have to stay here for the whole hour. But again, pretty crazy stuff going on. I'm surprised there's not many questions. But Tesla's going to be the main watch tomorrow. Too much info. Well, I hope you understand it all. I think I missed the chart up here. Is my support resistance good? Yeah, no, that is good. But you're also drawing trend lines on after hours movement, which to me I would never do. After hours moves just aren't significant. But good practice though. Thoughts on Apple after today? Yeah, so not thrilled with it. I actually, I love the way Apple looked up until today. I thought this was about to break out. It closed extremely strong yesterday. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And then we got the port strike, which could hurt iPhones coming in, and stuff like that. So very disappointing. I do think this could have a quick recovery, but a lot of it's going to have to do with the ports. So I'm now just going to be sidelined and waiting until we see 233 again. McNulty, that's kind of how I would look at it. I like that it held 225, but again, I think that chart. I couldn't ask for anything better. I thought that it was a beautiful looking chart. I was amped to trade it this morning, and then I woke up, checked the market, about an hour and a half before the open, and I saw it down at 230, and we hit a low of like 224 today. So unfortunate. Sometimes that's just kind of the timing of the market. But when that trade does come back around, I think it'll be a good one. What do you think about MU? More downside? I haven't looked at it. So obviously good earnings, kind of pulling back into the gap. I think this $100 level is going to be important for buyers to hold there. There could be more downside, especially with the port strike. Again, a lot of these companies that we're looking at here, they have physical products, and a lot of them are actually made out of the country. So, that's just kind of the only problem here. I can't really give you a straight answer on that, Rollins, simply because I don't know when the port strike is going to end. The longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get. But you could look at something like oil, right? Well, we may not be getting enough oil, and the oil prices go up and oil stocks go up, right? But that's just kind of a supply demand thing. So there's so many different angles to this stuff. It just it kind of takes like logically thinking through it, to kind of figure out, okay, like what would make sense here from an economical standpoint. What else you guys got? I don't really have any other charting to do. Crazy day today. Tesla main watch, one and done kind of day tomorrow. That's what it's looking like if the numbers are good. Yeah, that's a good one, Thundercat. What makes you think that on PayPal? Yeah, look, I'm not an oil trader, and I may not be as educated as I should be, but I know from a trading standpoint, this going long oil makes sense here. That was thrown in my face today. I don't know. I'm not much of an economical trader, and it's something that I'm trying to understand more. Try to look for bigger trades. It's more so something I want to trade with equities because options are just too crazy. That's why I stay away from them. I'm very good at technical trading, and like kind of like tech catalyst trading because I know how the stocks work. But these macro trades, in other sectors like oil and defense and stuff like that, it totally makes sense to me. But that's how an actual trading firm would trade, and I understand that stuff. But again, to me, it's more of they're trades I want to take with equities, not so much options, because the premiums are all jacked up. If they go flat, even though it's going in your direction, you could lose money. So there's a lot more risk there. So yeah. But if you take anything away from this today, it's going to be the Tesla numbers. Looking for 465. Say your prayers because I want to see 470 and I want to see Tesla 285 tomorrow. How to pick one or two right stocks every day for PV Discord. We are getting different items from different trainers like Stomach Wizard Man. So yeah, I mean, a common man. It's one, it's risk tolerance. What's going on with JD? Lavian? One, it's risk tolerance. Two, it's what trading style are you? Yeah, I mean, from if you look at all the analysts, there's going to be a lot of trades there. But I'm really good at day trading certain names. Stock Wizard's good at day trading. More so penny stocks. Mad Mavericks good at swing trading. It's all it's all really who you want to focus on. What did JD do? Is there news? Oh wow. Oh, overnight trading. Yeah, I'm guessing on Robinhood. Is there news there? What's going on? Oh, China stuff. Yeah. What did Baidu do? Baidu, good day. Yeah, China stocks have been on a freaking tear. On a tear. Wow. Michael Burry's killing it. He's been buying this for 2 years, I think. Yeah. Yeah, pretty simple there, right? Just like we did. And then the money all just flows to the top. Nice, Roland. Good trade. Yeah, I mean, guys, these are times where it's like I understand these trades. I understand what's going on these other tickers, but I'm just not that good at trading them yet. You know, I'm good at a certain thing and I stick to it. Most of the time, when I try to do other things, I don't make money, and it's not worth my time to do that. Even though I could make money, these are, I'm just try to keep my head down and focus on what I'm doing because it works, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do, especially when like today we have like terrible price action on my stocks that I watch. And then you have things just, going crazy. Oil, defense, China names recently. stuff like that. Is this all after hour stuff? Like, where's Baba? Is Baba at like 115 or something crazy? The Chinese markets are open right now, so again, that's kind of why I don't ever want to swing stuff like that. Is because when they're awake and their daytime is our nighttime, our markets are closed. Dang, Latvian. Yeah, I mean, China is just that's the theme right now. Baba, Baidu, JD. Yeah, seriously. It's closed until October 8th. Really? Oh wow, that long? A week, huh? Yeah, yeah, seriously. Yeah, Duco, welcome to technology. Yeah, I get one day. I get being closed one day, but 7 days is wild. A leap is when you buy like a year out. When you buy really long term options. When jumping in a trade, what do you look for on the chart? So, I mean, a couple things. One, it depends on the trade, but from a very simple answer, it's going to be volume and momentum and like speed. Because I'm a scalper. I'm not a longer term swing trade kind of guy. So I want there to be high volume and I want there to be speed because high volume tells me there's a lot of transactions going through. There's a lot of money flowing in and out of that stock at that specific time. But keep in mind, my trades are typically under 10 minutes. And there's also, an aggressive move on the stock. So I know that people, are willing to continue to pay up or pay, or sell the stock lower, making that, the price of it really move quickly. And I want to try to anticipate that and catch a piece of that because those are where the high odds chances for my style is. But again, a lot of my trades are under 10 minutes of time. Brew test. Definitely not spray and pray. A lot of the times I take one trade a day, if that. Sometimes I don't take any trades. But I definitely do look at patterns. Yeah, I do look at patterns when they're there. I don't go out, I don't go out and just look anywhere I can for a pattern. If they come to me, I notice them and I can, use them to my advantage. Um, but I don't use any sort of indicators or anything. If you don't understand price action, the bare bones of the market, then you're never going to be successful at shorter term trading. So For volume momentum, do you use the basic vanilla indicators for your TOS studies, or do you have more sophisticated ones? So I don't use any indicators. The only one that I use is VWAP, and I wouldn't even consider that an indicator. I just have that there as a tool if I need it. I'm never taking trades solely based on VWAP. It's just, you know, kind of a tool to help me, you know, for confirmation. And the only reason I use that is because over time, to me, it proved to me that it is something that, you know, works. But, you know, I heard this last week. I think a lot of people think that they can throw indicators on. It's going to tell them what the stock's going to do. That's like, you know, a dog's tail wagging the dog, right? It makes no sense. The dog wags the tail. The price moves the indicators. So if you don't know what the price is going to do, you don't know what the indicator is going to do. If it was as simple as seeing a line cross another line and you could buy a stock and you make money, everyone would be a trader and everyone would be rich. RSI, I don't use RSI. I mean, I know what it is, and honestly, to me, it's just RSI is used to see if something's oversold or overbought. But if you think that, like, on a day like today, if I pull up RSI and Apple, you know, let's just do it right now. I haven't put RSI on here in years. RSI was oversold on this candle here at 227.50. Right? You can see RSI oversold down here. Apple went as low as 224.50. So RSI was at 20 down here. Anytime it's under 30 or above 70, that's just like the rule of thumb. RSI was at 9, or it was at 20. So really, really low at 227. And when this was at its low of the day at 224.50, it was at, you know, 35.36. So to me, yeah, it's called a lagging indicator. So how does that make any sense? If you strictly trade on RSI, you're thinking, wow, Apple's really oversold. It's at 227. Let's buy it. And then you're underwater $3. If you use RSI with support and resistance, yeah, just like Latvian's saying here, if, you know, you should never take a trade based on indicators. Indicators should confirm your thought process that you already had, your trade idea that you already had. That's the rule of thumb there. So I hope that was a perfect example on why I don't use RSI. Do you calculate risk? If so, how do you go about calculating? So this kind of comes with experience and style. Okay. Risk, it depends on the trade. If I'm looking for a big trade, I'm willing to risk more money, dollar amount wise, because I'm going to be in with more money. If I'm looking for a smaller trade, I'm in with smaller size. If I'm looking for, you know, a good example of this, like when I'm day trading, I may look for like a 10 to 15% stop loss. If I'm swing trading, I'm okay with a 50% stop loss. Why is that? Well, I may go in with $5,000 on a day trade, you know, looking for 10, 20%. Or I go in with $500 on a swing and I'm looking for, you know, 50 to 100% gain on that. And I'm also willing to lose half of that position. So I'm willing to lose $250. But if I'm in with $5,000, I can still look to, you know, to lose $500, but my risk is then 10%. So it's hard to give you a perfect answer on that root test. I hope that makes sense. What's the next percent gain you would look for in strategy scalping? Is there a certain number and range? Yeah, so like typically I like to say like stop loss around 10, 15, rare occasions 20% for a scalping. And then I try to look for 15, 20, 30, 40% on my gains, Johnny. Right. Yeah. Raw indicators are lagging indicators. Yeah. It's all for confirmation. Yeah. You know, Meta was a good example on why I use VWAP today. Look how Meta reacted to VWAP. Came right up to it, bounced off. Came right up to it, bounced off. There's a top and a bottom VWAP. I don't use those. I use the middle one. Came up to it, bounced off. Came up to it, consolidated, broke through, got back under, tapped it, tapped it, tapped it, tapped it, tapped it, right? Tapped it, came back, got above it, pushed through. Perfect example on why I use VWAP. Over time, it proved to me that it does make sense, and I'm never taking trades off of that, but it's a tool that I use that it'll just kind of follow me. I never have to draw it. It's showing me where VWAP is, and I'll always consider that price that it's at for some sort of reaction from the stock. Make sense? I'll type it in here, brew test VWAP. I don't use the upper or lower bands. I use the middle one. Yeah, seriously. But that's a perfect example on VWAP actually being important for a day like today. But there's other times when you never get a VWAP test. Look at Apple. We opened the day right at VWAP and just stayed under it all day. Came up to it, tapped it, broke through it, closed above barely. Let's look at Tesla today. Didn't really react to VWAP. Was under it. We tapped it here, under it all day. Got close to it, rejected, got around it, chopped around. Once we got above it here and above 255, we ran. Closed pretty decent. Thundercat, if you're still in here, how's the debate going? It was boring. Okay. What else you guys got? We got about 10 more minutes here left. Yeah, VWAP means volume weighted average price. So it's the average price based on the volume of that day. Man. The delivery is tomorrow. NATO, the delivery numbers come out tomorrow morning. I'm expecting good things, but I don't know. Knock on wood. I want it to be good. I want it to go up. I'm hopeful for it. That's the biggest trade I'm looking for tomorrow. Yeah, so you can all. Oh, you wish you knew. Okay, yeah. What delivery? Yeah, so just it's Tesla delivery numbers on like how many cars they delivered this last quarter. Thoughts on Home Depot and Lowe's building. Jag, maybe you missed the beginning. I went into that for a long time. It's going to be important. Tomorrow's going to be good. So Home Depot and Lowe's. So obviously, you look at something like a hurricane. That's going to be a problem, right? Because a lot of homes got destroyed. So Home Depot and Lowe's, I'm sure they're up today. Let's just go look at them. I can guarantee you they're up. Home Depot up 1%, and Lowe's is up 0.5%. So nothing crazy, but Lowe's is a bigger size. That was a pretty good move. But yeah, so okay, but then you're talking about the port stuff. So if they can't get materials in, the materials that Home Depot and Lowe's has now, they're going to be more expensive, right? Because the demand's going to be higher because supply is low. So I think that'd be also good for the stock. So good thought there. Yeah, so VWAP can act as support and resistance as well. Yeah, I mean it's good for the stock short term, Johnny, for sure. Both 2x4s, yeah. You think about from builders like Kohler and calls from Home Depot. Um, well, I don't know exactly. I don't want to give you an answer on that. That you're going to take my word for it, but I would say that considering how bad the hurricane was, I do think it'd be good for home building stocks. So they're going to have to build homes back. So Home Depot, Lowe's, right? That's where you're going to get the materials, and then I forgot the home builder stocks. Kohler, yeah, I know that one. But there's one other one. It's with an R. But yeah, I mean, to me, I would think that that's positive. Is tomorrow I skip 8:45 corporate finance day to trade Tesla? I mean, Zach, I'm skipping class tomorrow for that for sure. But I'm not live trading. That's the only problem. Electrician kind of a lot of a lot of work to do for sure. Yeah, I'll be blowing up the chats for sure. You should have access to my coaching corner, right? For anyone that's free and wants to get in, someone else was talking about price action. I have a whole lesson on candlestick patterns and stuff as well. So that's stuff you're going to get with the coaching corner stuff and premium. That's awesome. Trump was there day one. I love it. And Biden was on the beach. What up, stick man? Yeah, yeah. One time Starlink flew. That's pretty crazy. Well, we're almost done here, guys. Any other questions? Let me go try to watch the end of this debate. Later, Levian. What time of day is best for trading? So for day trading, it's going to be the opening hour of the day of the market open. For swing trading, long term investing, it's kind of in any time is okay. Yo, I watch OS later. What's that? How do you trade at 4 a.m.? No, I mean not pre-market. I mean when the market opens at 9:30 Eastern. Yeah, Brute Test. Thanks, bro. Let me know if you need anything. It's time for you to hop over on premium. All right, guys. Well, I think we're gonna call it here. Thanks for being here. Always good. Yeah, you can, Jag. You just have to trade equities. You can also trade SPX pre-market options. That's about it. Cool. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of the night, and I'll see you in the chats tomorrow. No live trading. It's my one day off, but Thursday we got a free live trading, and I'll see you there. Later.